morning Celtic fans. Yes, I am back. Did the other half take care of you? In today's Celtic FC morning news. The Celtic Managers rant against Raith reminds Parkhead dressing room there is no compromise on Plan A. He reveals the secret behind Celtic recruitment success. Celtic draw Dundee United away, in Scottish Cup. And Ronny Deila takes responsibility for Celtic's shortcomings but bemoans average squad at his disposal. The shouts are probably still echoing around Parkhead as well as ringing in the ears of the players. But everyone at Celtic will have got the message from the Celtic manager against Raith Rovers. There will be no backward steps for the Hoops boss. Postecoglou lost his rag with his side on Sunday for daring to dither on the ball and pass it backwards instead of going at Raith Rovers. Celtic eventually won 4-0 after a stirring second half to reach the last 8 of the Scottish Cup. But their gaffer wasn't too chuffed with that opening 45 minutes and didn't hold back in his post-match press conference. Opened up to the Osses about his time at Celtic. The tough start and the European lessons, the importance of his industrial recruitment drive and his hopes for the future. But there was reminder for his Hoops squad he won't accept anything other than his own way. The law was laid down on day one and it hasn't changed. Speaking to former player turned broadcaster Craig Forster, who he famously had an on-air bust-up with when he was Socceroos youth coach in the early 2000s, he said, "You know I'm not a Plan B kind of guy. You've been at me for the last 15 years about this. God bless you, I love you for it, but I just don't compromise, because ultimately the key thing at the end of the day is winning football games. Obviously you've got to get it right quickly, so you try to accelerate that process as much as you can by giving as much information to the players as possible. For me, the test comes when things aren't going smoothly. It's probably why in all the jobs I've had, the initial period is always rocky. It's because I don't compromise at the start. Obviously players and even staff struggle with it initially, just to get the concepts right, but I just don't compromise on that. Ultimately, it's the football I want my teams to play, which is a big driver for me, and it's been very, very successful. I just think it's the way to win, for me, as a manager. I always say, if you want me to go out and set up a team to sit back and get a point, then I can't do it. I don't know how to do it, it's just not in my skill set. I've said a few times, when I walked into the football library I went to one section and I stayed there. Celtic may have been off the ball for a spell against Raith, but the squad are clearly on board, because it's a group Postecoglou has hand-picked from all around the globe. The Aussie admits he leaves his wife Georgia to do the shopping, but he knew exactly what he wants in the transfer market. Postecoglou said, "I could go into a shop with my wife and she'll know exactly what to pick and buy. And mate, I've got no idea. When I go looking for players I'm the same. I've got a real clear idea. When I see what I want I picture them in my team, and when they fit that picture most of the time it works. The players I've brought in have hit the ground running and people ask why so quickly. But it's because I already know they've got the attributes I'm looking for, and the rest is just understanding the game plan." Postecoglou walked into chaos in the summer after the failed 10-in-a-row bid, but he's got a trophy in the bank and in the hunt for 3 more. He admitted he simply didn't have the time to muck about as he knew failure wasn't an option. Postecoglou said, "You rarely pick it up when a team is flying. When you've come off a season when you've won nothing at a club like this, there needs to be a massive reaction. I kind of knew the magnitude of what I needed to do. It's been pretty good so far, and I've had tremendous support from the fans and good support from within the football club to take it in the direction I want to. But I kind of knew there was always a ticking clock against me to get it right as soon as we possibly could." The recruitment process at Celtic has come under fire in recent years, particularly during last season when expensive loan signings flopped, others brought in for several £1 million failed to make an impact, and the 10-in-a-row dream died. The end result was that Ange Postecoglou inherited a massive squad rebuilding job when he arrived in June, with the volume of players required suggesting something of a scattergun approach would have to be adopted in order just to get the requisite bodies in the door on time. Wait till the end to hear what Ronny says about his time in charge and the players. Before that, Celtic have been drawn away to Dundee United in the quarter-finals of this season's Scottish Cup. This Celtic FC team have already come through ties against Alloa Athletic and Raith Rovers, looking to reclaim a trophy that had become the norm to win before St Johnstone's stunning efforts last season. All 8 teams in tonight's draw play in the Scottish Premiership, making the closing stages of the tournament very exciting indeed. Celtic have already won the Scottish League Cup this season, so will definitely fancy their chances of more silverware this season. Celtic FC have faced Dundee United on 3 occasions already under Ange Postecoglou, winning twice and drawing the other. The previous fixture at Tannadice finished 3-0 to Celtic. On Celtic's current form should be a Celtic win. Former Celtic manager Ronny guided the Celtic to 2 league titles and was robbed of the chance to achieve a domestic treble when match officials failed to spot a blatant handball in the 2015 Scottish Cup semi-final. On the other hand, his teams were eliminated at the Champions League playoff round in consecutive seasons, even after being reinstated when Legia Warsaw fielded an ineligible player and finished bottom of their Europa League group in his second campaign. The Norwegian manager, who recently won the MLS Cup with New York City, takes responsibility for failing to live up to fans' expectations at Parkhead. However, he does feel the average level of his squad didn't help. Speaking on the Pressbox podcast, Ronny said, "We lost a lot of good players in a previous couple of years before I came in. We did not have the same amount of money invested as Brendan Rodgers did in the following couple of seasons. That made things difficult, but I also need to take some responsibility for failures. In that second season, we had too many average players in the squad. However, there was some good talent as well who then performed very well when Brendan Rodgers came in, so I feel a part of that." It was in Europe where his comments bear more relevance, and Ronny admits, his biggest disappointment was failing to reach the Champions League group stages, when paired with Malmo. Having won the home leg, it was set up for the boys to progress, but Malmo's 2-0 victory in Sweden sealed a 4-3 aggregate defeat for Ronny's Celtic team. Speaking about that tie, he said, "I think the biggest disappointment at Celtic was getting knocked out by Malmo in the Champions League playoffs. We played well in the first game and then struggled in the second game. We really should have made it to the Champions League group stages." And on that note, have a great day, Celtic fans.
Lit. Roll up to the party, roll up to the party, roll up to the party, roll up to the